Hey guys, so I asked you on Instagram to ask me some questions because it's been a really long time since I've done a Q&A, and I get so many DMs with hair questions in them, so I figured that a lot of you may have similar questions, so it would just be a good idea to kind of answer it for everyone. I also did get some questions that aren't even referring to hair at all, but let's just go through them and start answering. So the first question is from M Park. It says, any advice on how to get your hair to move on top? Once mine is parted, it stays that way and doesn't have any movement like yours does. One really good tip for this is to kind of move your hair back and forth while it is air drying or while you're diffusing, whichever you prefer. This kind of confuses your part and it makes it so your hair isn't kind of drying in one position. Another thing that you can do is in the shower, rinse your hair so all of your hair is kind of slicked back. This also eliminates any part that you may have. I personally don't do this because I like to cover as much of my forehead as possible. So Marissa asks, what hair type would you say you are? I'd say I most identify with 2C, 3A, but I probably also have some 2B and 3B curls in there depending on what products I use, how I style it, and just what kind of hair day I'm having in general. Lil Miss Hilly says, what are your current favorite hairstyle or products and how often do you work out? My favorite hair products don't change that much, honestly, and even though I do try a lot of different products, I always find myself going back to the same couple. So my all-time favorite hair styler product is the Diva Curl Super Cream. I also really love the Bounce Curl shampoo and conditioner. So I did promise you guys that I would be doing a whole video on Diva Curl stylers, which I am doing or working on, but I'm trying a bunch of their products I've never tried before, and one that I've really been liking is Believe In. And how often do I work out? I'd say I work out anywhere from like 3 to 6 days a week, usually averaging somewhere in the middle there. So Jen Houghton asks, any advice on how to get all of your hair to curl together? Mine's a 2C, 3A curl underneath and around my face, but barely a 2B wave on top. I think it's pretty normal to have multiple different curl types. Something that you can do that might help, it's actually the technique I use in my curly hair routine. In the shower, while you're rinsing your hair, kind of form your hair into clumps. You can check out the video if you haven't seen it. I'll have it linked because it's easier if you watch it than me explaining it. But you basically form your hair into clumps and then apply the product to each one of those sections individually and then try to let it stay in those clumps for as long as possible. That should give you some uniformity to your curls, but honestly, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think it's really nice when there are multiple curl patterns and textures throughout your hair. Danny Vasquez asks, how's wedding planning going? Who are your curl crushes? What is your hair porosity and how do you care for it? So actually a lot of you have been asking about wedding planning, and I apologize for really not doing too much content on that. To be honest, 99.9% of my planning has happened online, so I didn't necessarily know if you guys would enjoy me vlogging me sitting at my laptop and just doing research. If that's something you're interested in, I can continue it for the rest of my process. If you'd like, I could do a whole separate video just kind of sitting down and talking, because I am getting married about 2 hours away from where I live. So it's kind of just easier for me to contact vendors online and talk to them through there. Well, that's how most of my planning has been going, but it is going really well so far. The past few months I haven't done a lot because when I first started planning, I got quite a few of my bigger vendors out of the way, so there's been kind of a lull in planning. But since I'm like half a year away from my wedding, now I'm kind of getting back into it. Let me know kind of what you guys would want to see as far as planning goes. My thing that I'm focusing on most right now is getting my save the dates out, which is such a process to get everyone's address. Oh my gosh, it's a task. She also asked, who are your curl crushes? So first, gosh, I have so many. Sunkissed Alba, of course. She is basically who inspired me to start my curly hair journey. Also India Batson. Her like blonde hair I love, and it's just so like mermaidy and beautiful. And then there's also a girl I follow on Instagram. I think her name is Raven Lynn, something like that. I'll leave her account down below if you want to check her out. But she's just beautiful overall, but I also love her hair. And then she also asks my hair porosity and how I care for it. So this has been a burning question for myself and so many of you, what my hair porosity is. I really don't know. A lot of the tests online to find out your hair porosity, they're questionable. I feel like I can associate with each of the hair porosities. I really don't identify with one totally. So Vanessa Ann asks, what is your hair goal and how's wedding planning going? My hair goal, I don't really have a hair goal. I just kind of want to see how long it can grow my hair with it being healthy. I mean, I definitely need a trim right now. My ends are a little sad and like scraggly. Curly Susie 17 asks, what are you studying in university and what is your dream career? So I did have a couple questions on this. I am in business school. I actually graduate in a couple of weeks, which is really exciting. Dream career, honestly, I do want to work for myself. I do want to have my own business in some capacity. I'm not exactly sure what that entails yet. That's a bit of a longer term goal for me. So as far as jobs go, I'm definitely interested in social media management or digital marketing. I'm also thinking about going to grad school, but not starting that until the spring semester or the fall, depending on what school I end up going with. Anchor Down asks, what are your favorite hair growth tips and how's the wedding planning? For hair growth, I do have 2 videos on this. So I will link those 2 videos so you can check them out. But if I had to give a couple of tips really quick, I would say deep conditioning, regular trims, and protecting your hair when you sleep. So using a scarf or a satin pillowcase. I think those are super important. XX Blah asks, how long did it take you to embrace your natural curls, and do you ever discourage and want to straighten your hair sometimes? I kind of had like a back and forth roller coaster relationship with my hair. So I actually never really disliked my curly hair up until I think around the time that I started YouTube. I always kind of embraced it. I never really gave it much thought up until then. And then once I started YouTube, I felt this pressure from, I don't know where specifically, but just pressure that I had to have it straight, just I guess to fit in more. But I think once I kind of destroyed my hair is when I really started to appreciate and want to embrace what it does and what it is naturally. So I can't say like it took me this amount of time because I never went from like hating my hair my whole life to loving it. And she also asks if I straighten my hair if I'm feeling discouraged. And I think this was probably more prevalent when I first started my journey, but I was so intent on not using heat at all because my hair was just in such bad shape that, and it wasn't even like my curls were damaged, like my hair was really, really damaged. So I made it a goal for myself to just not straighten my hair at all. And I stuck to that pretty well. I actually straighten my hair more so now than I did while I was, I guess, transitioning because I just like the variety of style. Jug Elvis, that's definitely 100% wrong, says, do you still follow a diet and training plan? Which one? If you've been watching my videos for a really long time, you know that I used to be really into like the gym and macros and everything like that. I've cut back significantly on that mentality. It just was not healthy for me. Right now, what I'm trying to do is just listen to my body and do exercise that I actually enjoy. So if I'm not feeling going to the gym and lifting heavy that day, I'll do Pilates and yoga instead at home. So as long as I'm staying active in some capacity, I'm happy. And then I've just been trying to make healthy choices with eating. Of course, I'm not perfect. I crave unhealthy stuff a lot, and I just try to find a really good balance and not focus on weight loss so much as just living a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Aindel 17, again, sorry for butchering that, says, when I wash my hair, I lose so much of it. Is this normal? What are ways to prevent this from happening? You inspired me to start my curly hair journey. I'm getting my diva cut today and I can't wait. Oh, that's so exciting. I hope you love it. It's amazing. They taught me so much when I went to get my diva cut. I lose quite a bit of hair when I shower, and I never know like how much is normal, but I'm not balding, so I think it's okay. I'd say be a little bit more mindful when you're detangling. I know for me, if I'm in a rush and I've just had it with my hair, I tend to be very aggressive when detangling, and I lose a lot more probably than I should. If you feel like you're losing like way too much hair, maybe start supplementing or looking to see if you have any deficiencies in your diet. Next question from Nate Ellie Strada. God, I suck with these names. Any tips for getting hair to dry settle into clump curls? A type of scrunching method? I feel like every time I scrunch my hair, the curls separate. The clumping method that I do in my curly hair routine that I talked about earlier, check that out. But as far as scrunching goes, try scrunching your hair in the individual clumped sections, which is a little bit more time consuming, but it works wonders. So I get lazy and I just throw my head over after I do my clumps and scrunch it all together. And the curls do separate that way, but if you really take your time to scrunch your hair in separate sections, it makes a big difference. So Carly Rothenberg asks, do you suggest getting layers even when getting curly hair cut short to shoulder length? I always think layers are a really good idea with curly hair just because it gives a lot more volume and movement to your hair. Ty Santamburine, I think that's how you say it, asks, do you follow the curly girl method strictly? I try to follow it as best as I can, but no, I sometimes use products with silicones in them. I mean, I use heat on my hair sometimes, so no, I don't follow it strictly, and I wouldn't get hung up on following it 100%. I mean, definitely give it a shot and give it your all at first, but if it doesn't work for you and you need to make some adjustments, don't be afraid to do that. I think people get really caught up in, you need to follow this 100%. And honestly, it doesn't work for everyone. So make adjustments if you need. But so yeah, no, I definitely don't follow it 100% all the time, but I do my best. Justice Karina asks, how do you manage your endometriosis? I have endo as well and just came across your vlog where you discussed the endo diet very briefly. For those of you who don't know, I don't think I've really talked about this much on my channel at all, but I was diagnosed with endometriosis like 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. For a while, I refused to go on any type of medication or birth control. I wanted to see if I could basically manage my pain on my own by changing other facets of my life. So I did a lot of change when it comes to my diet and exercise. I was taking supplements and like vitamins, trying to manage it, and it was just getting to the point where it was way too painful. So I did end up going on birth control like only a couple of months ago. So this is fairly new for me, and it has been helping a lot. And I hate to admit it because I fought it for so long. Not saying that birth control is 100% necessary in everyone's case, but for me, it has made a huge difference. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with managing it. But also I make sure that I go to my doctor regularly, and I also get sonograms regularly. Earth to Anne asks, is your hair fine or thick? What type of products work best for you? Example, creams, gels, etc. I definitely say my hair is on the finer side. I just have quite a bit of it. For me, I find that a combination of creams and a hold product work best. My hair can get pretty dry, so I like the creams for hydration and making my hair feel soft, and then the hold product kind of helps to lock out frizz and keep everything in place. So that is my go-to combination when it comes to hair products and what I think works best for me. Shireen Dag asks, alternatives for the super cream, and what are your opinions on the Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie? Alternatives for super cream, you could try the Cantu curling cream. It's pretty nice. It's a little bit on the heavy side. Also the same with the Maui Moisture curl thing that's in the tub. I liked that hair product a lot. I felt like it was very moisturizing, but again, it's a little bit on the heavy side. But those are two drugstore curl creams that I believe are both silicone free, and they're very hydrating. And then the Curl Enhancing Smoothie, I haven't used that in a really long time, and I remember when I used it, I thought I liked it, and then I felt like it was really heavy for my hair, which is a shame because I feel like a lot of the Shea Moisture products are heavy on my hair. There's only a couple that I can use that don't give me that like weighed down greasy look. So if I remember correctly, I believe that one was a little bit too heavy for me to use. Brandy Barella asks about wedding plans also, and she says, what workout are you doing for the wedding? I am trying to get my butt in the gym a little bit more, so I'm gonna start off slow, maybe give myself a goal of getting to the gym like 3 times a week. Primarily, I'm working out from home these days, doing Pilates and yoga because I actually really enjoy doing it. So it's basically a combination of things that I enjoy doing. So a tiny bit of cardio because I really don't like doing cardio, Pilates, yoga, and weightlifting. Brookie Beth asks, what's your favorite way to accomplish definition and volume? I can never get both. Following the hair clump method, letting it dry that way, and then once your hair is totally dry, kind of go through with a pick or a comb and really shake the crap out of your scalp, but really just focus on the scalp more, and maybe even use some sort of product that will give you lift at the scalp, like a hairspray or some sort of like volumizing mousse. Bandana Anna 11 says, have any tips for dealing with curly hair when it's super humid? It seems like no matter what styling products I use, humidity always brings frizz. When I am down in those environments, I tend to use slightly more hold products. So I'll just increase the amount of gel or foam that I use so my hair gets a cast on it. And then once it's totally dry, then I scrunch to break that cast. I feel like when I do that, humidity tends to stay out a bit more. It creates more of a barrier. So try that out, see if that helps. So next, Marjorie Hines asks, what's your typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner look like? Lately for breakfast, I have been having oatmeal with some type of fruit in it. So I'll have either like a banana or a mixture of berries in there. I'll top it with a little bit of granola and a little bit of almond butter. And then for lunch and dinner, it's usually just some assortment of like vegetables, a grain. This is when I eat like healthy. I also really like the Sweet Earth frozen burgers. The burritos that they make are really good if I'm in a rush. Another really quick meal for me are those Amy's soups. I love those. If I'm trying to be very healthy, I'll focus on getting a ton of veggies in, a grain, and then maybe like tofu or something like that. Okay guys, so I feel like this video is going to be super long, so I'm gonna cut it off here. I'm really sorry if I didn't get a chance to answer your questions. I want to try and start doing these more on my channel, so don't worry if you didn't get your question answered today. I'll be back doing another Q&A soon. How often would you guys want to see these? I don't know. Let me know down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Also, we'll have all of my social media links in the description box, so you can check those out if you want. And I think that is it for today. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.